at first, I was very guilty. And then I realized that all the things that are taught you not only by society but by psychiatrists are just to fit you in a mold. And I've just rejected the mold, and when I rejected the mold, I was happier.
Silence will not protect you.
When you're first coming to terms with being a queer person and you see the vitriol and the violence that people experience, if I stay silent and don't draw attention to myself, that will keep me safe. But the reality is, unless we stand up and speak out, those systems that oppress us will continue to do so uninterrupted.
Grand Junction is a small town. It's a semi-rural community of only 60,000 people.
I would say it's one of the most beautiful places I've lived, but in terms of social justice issues, being an accepting society, I think we still have a long way to go.
Grand Junction 20 years ago did not have a community. Having a pride parade in Grand Junction 20 years ago was not something we would have ever thought of.
I think I say all the time that community saved my life. Once I was able to find other folks within the LGBTQ community, it was nice to find people that I could connect to, or people that I could, share kind of similar lived experiences. My name is Caleb Paganchik. I use he, they pronouns interchangeably. I'm a slam poet, I'm a community organizer and activist. Right now, I think I'm just really focused on building community and space, particularly for the LGBTQ community. I was outed in high school when I was about 15 or 16 years old. I grew up in Delta, Colorado, under a pretty traditional fundamentalist family structure. So I kind of experienced the gambit of discrimination, whether that was verbal or physical abuse, death threats, like ostracization. It was really difficult to have that conversation with my family. I have learned over the years, being a queer person in a rural community, that you cannot leave it to institutions to build queer spaces for folks. It really has to be led by people with that lived experience.
I have known Caleb since we were about 5 years old. We always envisioned just a community of poets in the Western Slope.
Writing has always been a part of my life since an early age. My grandpa passed away, and that was the first time I had experienced death or loss. And that's also the first time that I think I turned to poetry to process emotion, especially through high school and college as I was coming to terms with my identity.
When we got to college, I tried to start a slam poetry club. I didn't really make much headway because I don't have his networking and logistical genius. But I went to Denver and he just picked up the reins and ran with it.
I got the idea for Slamming Bricks from a similar poetry slam that used to be held at Moab Pride called Spit Love. And I really wanted to see something like that within our community, where folks could kind of come together and speak truth to their lived experience.
When he called that first year, he was just like, hey, I've got a poetry festival commemorating the Stonewall riots in Grand Junction, Colorado. Do you want to be a part of it? And it's like, of course.
Slamming Bricks is what I call an intersectional poetry slam competition, principally geared towards the LGBTQ community, and it honors the 1969 Stonewall riots and the gay liberation movement that came after that.
2019 was our 50-year anniversary of Stonewall, which was the riots in New York City that prompted the gay rights activism. That's where the slamming bricks come from. It's the bricks that were thrown at Stonewall.
So it's like your traditional poetry slam, except all of the poets explore themes of resistance and liberation, keeping that history of the gay liberation movement in mind.
Caleb is such an incredible individual to be organizing all of this work from this location, because it's not like when people say Grand Junction, Colorado, you have any real image or idea of what that might look like.
I think Caleb is really three people, because I don't know how else he could do as much as he does and still be as warm and open to everybody as he is. Just how much he gets done in the community, for the community, about the community. It's just amazing.
the activists I know that choose to stay here, it is with a lot of active choice to choose to stay in a place that might not be receptive and to kind of fight through it because this town needs it, you know? And I'm not sure why Caleb has stayed. I think he could go to Denver or New York City and live an incredible life, you know? I'm very thankful that he's here. He has this energy and this passion. I think one thing that Caleb's really good about is creating community. And that's the difference between life and death for people in our community, especially youth, especially if they haven't come out. You know, not long ago during COVID, we've had youth, especially Hispanic youth, kill themselves because they haven't come out. So yeah, we've had youth locally, you know, take their lives. The biggest thing we can do, and this is what both Liz and Caleb do, is create these spaces for people in our community to say, you know, we're here, there's nothing wrong with us, and it's gonna get better, you know?
To be able to have a space, a stage, a microphone where I can truly be myself and truly stand up for who I am in all of my nuance, and to not even feel afraid about it, to like do that and know it's going to be heard and received, that's everything.
All things are possible. That's what they told me.
All of the things about life that feel insurmountable, like there's no way to deal with them.
When I was young,
Where I just feel so overwhelmed with everything that I can't do anything else. Writing gives me a way through it.
all things are possible. That's what they told me.
The original form of entertainment was public speaking. I think the power is still there. It's raw, it's natural, it's the human experience shared with other humans.
I want every single member of the LGBTQIA plus community to understand that when they step through these doors, this is their place.
This is community.
This is love.
This is badass.
This is the power of your voice.
This is ours. 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 This is ours.